Now, I personally believe that dress plays a big part in professionalism. By dressing in a suit each day, I believe it sets the tone. Children see that and hopefully want to replicate that with their uniform. There's also that saying, you know, dress smart, think smart. So I think that's a key part of why I choose to wear a suit at the same time. Yeah, there's no way I'm wearing a suit for the whole video. That's come off. I love that you don't actually know whether or not I'm still wearing shorts, but hey ho. Let's get started with the video. So, if you don't know who I am, my name is Blakemore. I teach, travel, and sometimes triumph. I usually make a range of teaching and traveling videos. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I know that 80% of you out there don't actually subscribe to the channel, so feel free to hit the subscribe button and then we'll get started with the video. So, in this video, what I wanted to do is talk about a range of interview tips. Now, at the moment, schools are closed around the world. However, while schools are closed, job openings are still becoming available. So, in this video, I wanted to talk about a range of tips for online interviews so that hopefully it can help someone out there, whether or not you're a teacher who's going for a job at a school that is closed, or whether you're in a similar position to what I was a couple of years ago, where you're going for an interview for a teaching position abroad. So I want to give you a few tips, but then also a bit of a guide on how to set up for your online teaching interview. To start off with, I wanted to go through a few different bits and pieces in terms of the actual setup, how to set up an effective environment for your online interview. Now, in the environment I'm at the moment, you can see me quite clearly. Lighting's okay, I've got some lights set up here, but if I were to face that area there, it wouldn't actually be that good, because the camera would be facing this way. Let me show you what I mean. So this isn't too bad at the moment, but the light source is directly behind me. Now what that means is that I'm darker at the front. If you've got light sources behind you, you're going to appear darker. Whoever's interviewing isn't going to be able to see things as clear. Now you'll see in here, it's very cluttered. Now that's not a positive, because as someone's talking to you, they're going to be quite distracted by everything that's going on. So a simple solution is to look for even distribution of lighting. Now we come to another area of the home, and the backdrop is a lot more neutral. It's just a simple wall. I'm sure you guys will have something like that at your home at the moment. Now that's better because it's not too distracting for the person who's interviewing you. At the same time, I've got some better lighting, so I've got some natural light coming from over there. Now, this part of my face here is a bit dark. It doesn't really matter too much, but that can simply be solved by having some sort of cheap lamp. I've got a lamp over here, so if I flick this, it's a little bit clearer. I'm not too keen on this shadow over here now, but as you can see, it's a bit clearer and looking smarter straight away. The next thing to think about is sound quality. Now, if you're speaking to someone, you don't want them to be hearing really tinny sounds, and some laptops have really good internal microphones, but some aren't so good. It also depends on the room that you're in, because internal microphones pick up a lot of external noise. So if I'm tapping away, you can hear that quite clearly. Now, obviously I'm slamming the keyboard quite hard. A simple fix for that is a pair of headphones. Picking up a pair of headphones, I mean, these are a slightly more upper market pair of wired earphones. Your simple iPhone earbuds are a simple solution to really pick up and develop the audio. Plug them in. Now I have the earphones plugged in, I'm hoping that the audio is a little bit better. Now, one thing that will be apparent straight away is if I am typing, you won't be able to hear that as clearly because the microphone is closer to my mouth. So that's just a simple quick fix for audio if you're having problems with the internal microphone on your laptop. So now we're back where we were originally, and so far we've spoken about lighting, the backdrop, sound quality, and now we need to speak about angles. Now, angles is a bit of a strange one. When you have an interview with anyone online, if you're speaking through the webcam, it can be quite easy for you to end up picking the wrong angle. Now, if you're having an interview with someone, the last thing that someone wants to see is up your nose. Whereas if you're interviewing with someone from here, you can see that I'm above the camera. What that means is that you're going to see basically straight up my nose. At the same time, it's also, you've got to think about positions. You're asserting a position of dominance because you're above that person and you're looking down on whoever you're interviewing with. Now, the person who is interviewing you might even be in a similar situation, but it's still good practice to then have the camera set up at the right level. Now, a simple fix for this is just by having your laptop on a couple of different boxes, so that then, rather than have this here, all of a sudden, the picture is a lot clearer and you can see that the camera is a lot more eye level. You're not looking at my nose as much. If I wanted to make it a little bit higher, because I'm still a bit higher than the camera, I can get another cereal box. So let's close that up for a minute because we don't really need that. I'm going to talk to you about things that are going to help you during the interview, almost like little tips. During an online interview, it can be quite tricky because you've not got that face-to-face interaction. Now, many of the things that I would advise you for an interview are the same things that I would advise for an online interview. Take time when you're trying to answer each question, and to do that you can still do a range of different things. Like you can have a cup of water and have a drink, maybe not between each question, but that's available to give you that thinking time. Taking careful consideration of each question that's asked also shows that you care about the answers that you're giving. Now, I've laid out a few things here that are going to also help during the online interview. Now, first things first is a bit of a hack, and that is post-it notes. Now, one thing I can show you is you can stick post-it notes around the side of your screen. What that allows you to do is have key things that you wanted to talk about pinned up on your laptop. Please don't cover the camera, that's pretty obvious surely. But at the same time, you've still got that available. So little post-it notes is a little bit of a hack, but it's still something that you could potentially use. Another thing that I've laid out just here is a notepad. A notepad is a really good thing to have to the side of you. Now, one of the things you can do is pin up post-it notes, as I've said, but you can also have notes to the side of you because they can't technically see what you're looking at other than the screen. You could have keynotes written. The other reason you want a notepad out is so that you can actually write notes about the school. Chances are you might not get a chance to go and look at a school, whether it's an international school or whether it's a school that's currently closed. So it's really good practice to have some sort of notepad available so that you can start to write notes about the school. That also opens up the opportunity for you to ask lots of questions. Try not to make the questions too obvious, things that you'll be able to find on the school's website, but also make sure that you're able to talk about different things like policies, like different things that you're interested in. Things that really define a good school for you might be different to what defines a good school for them. So have those questions available so that you can get to know the school even more, since you might not be able to go and look around it. This is a portfolio of evidence. Now, there is actually a few bits and pieces in here. I really like these ones that have the poly pockets already inside. It's just something that I've always preferred, but those ones where you can move the poly pockets, I don't know, what do you call them? Plastic wallets? These things are really good at the same time because they allow you to show different bits and pieces. You can use index tabs to pick out key things such as reports or evidence of whether it's good practice, SEND things, whether it's things for showing differentiation. And you can then have them tabbed so that you can quickly access them. But when you're interviewing, it's always good practice to be able to show evidence of what you've been doing inside a classroom, and having that portfolio available is still important. Your interviewer might ask, I've not known this, to send over that evidence. So having that readily available means you can send that over quite quickly for them too. So that is still important, even though you're not actually going to be going to the school with the portfolio, still have it readily available to be able to show evidence too. Preparation is also important to make sure that you fully understand how to use the online platform that they're going to interview you with. For example, if someone said to me you're going to have a Skype interview, I'd feel pretty confident with that. However, if someone said we're going to have a multi-screen Zoom interview, I'd struggle with that. So I'd need to do some research myself. So make sure you spend some time to just sort of prepare and investigate the software they're going to be interviewing you with if you're not quite sure on it. The other thing to consider is Wi-Fi. Just make sure that you're fully set up with your Wi-Fi. I know that some people recommend Ethernet cables just to make sure that you're sort of foolproof in it, but it's completely up to you. If you have reliable Wi-Fi that doesn't go down, then that's great for you. But that option's there too. So just make sure that you're prepared with the software, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So that marks the end of the video. Hopefully I've shown you some things to consider when you have your online interview and some of the different things that can help you set up your environment correctly. If you've enjoyed the video, feel free to like it. I always really appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, as I said at the start, feel free to subscribe down in whatever corner it is nowadays, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. For now, I'm out.